Yeah, what's up, man? I know that door is tricky, man. And no one gets it right.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's like, hey, I mean, Elon made the door. I don't know. How have you been?
Good, good.
We're going to Frisco.
Correct, yes.
All right, let's make it happen. How's your day been?
It's good. I literally just flew in like an hour ago.
Really? Where are you coming from?
California.
What part?
Bay Area.
I used to live in Hayes Valley.
Oh, nice. That's up north, right?
Well, it's kind of like where Mission is?
Mission.
Where are you in California?
I'm in like San Jose area.
Oh, you're in San Jose. Okay, yeah. So you're over on is that East Bay?
It's like South Bay.
South Bay, yeah. See, I didn't spend too much time in San Jose because I was literally in Soma.
Oh, so like SF area.
Yeah. That's where the Hayes Valley is.
What about you out here?
Work actually.
Work, okay.
Yeah, so I do miss. I was there in like the golden years though. I feel like sort of the golden years.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2016, 2018.
Okay, so pre-pandemic.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun, and it was like Twitter was a really big company by then. Uber was jamming.
Mm-hmm.
It was just it was a different era. Facebook was still Facebook.
Yeah.
It wasn't Meta. It was just a fun time. What about you?
Yeah, I actually work in the city, but thankfully I'm still work from home, so I don't have to drive all the way up there from San Jose.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm out here for a friend's wedding. That's why I'm out here.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
You liking Texas so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's actually my 4th time coming to Texas. I actually had an internship here my freshman year of college at
Okay.
JP Morgan Chase in Houston.
Okay.
So I visited Dallas quite a few times.
I see. You're still in finance?
Well, I'm a software engineer, so I was an engineering intern for JP Morgan.
Got it. Dude, I studied comp sci, but I did not want to debug, and now I'm jealous of everybody with Cursor.
Yeah, Cursor is pretty awesome.
Dude, how's it feel? What's your take on the AI? Like, you feel like
it's been, I feel like it's still like in the beginning stages. Like a lot of times I tell it to do something, it just gets completely wrong. But for doing like automation, like simple tasks, like finding a bug or like putting in a bunch of semicolons, like it's super useful for that.
So do you use it every day now?
Yeah, I use it pretty much every day. My company actually requires Cursor.
Okay.
Like, it's a requirement now.
It's a requirement.
Yeah.
Wow. And does it speed you up in your development task?
Definitely does, dude. Like when it comes to like automation and doing repetitive stuff, it's really, really good at that.
Okay. And
identifying bugs or like syntax errors.
Yeah, that's why I told you I'm jealous of all you all now, like, because I hated debugging, and so that's why I ended up just I studied comp sci, did the whole thing, and I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's just so much easier now. Like I don't even think you need a comp sci degree. You can just tell Cursor what to do.
Well, you know what's funny? I was talking to somebody else the other day about this, and what's unique about it is, yes, but we still have that fundamental knowledge. It's like if I tell you to build an application, you know not to embed the database in the application, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have you're gonna create a proper index and call out to that, right?
Yeah.
If I tell somebody to go build something and they make like an iOS app, if you just use Cursor or Copilot or any of the tools out there, you probably are gonna embed. You probably don't know how to build a database, so you'll probably embed the database in the actual application, and you'll wonder why you have this bloated application, and it's like that's not how you're supposed to do it. But like, how does that person understand databases and search?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Copilot because they're also pushing to like make Copilot mandatory for writing unit tests.
Yeah.
So we use like Copilot for unit tests and then Cursor for debugging.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're really pushing to use these AI tools lately.
Which one do you like the most so far?
I hate writing unit tests. I'm gonna be honest. The Copilot has been super helpful with doing that.
Yeah, you know what else Copilot is really good at? PowerPoint, bro.
Oh, PowerPoints?
PowerPoint, Copilot and PowerPoint are like, it's weird how good it is. Like, you're a developer, so you're not using. I guess when you get to the CTO level, you'll start doing diagrams, and then you might need
less coding.
Yeah, less coding, more diaphragm. Just this is the architecture map and all that good stuff.
Dude, you're like super knowledgeable with AI. Like, are you also an engineer or?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm actually only doing this. I'm FSD.
Uh-huh.
So right now I'm supervising the FSD because I'm just trying to see how good this stuff really is.
Oh.
And so I'm doing Uber, but really I'm getting content for I'm just critiquing how well is FSD.
Oh, you're making content? That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you're super knowledgeable when it comes to AI.
Dude, thanks, man. I mean, AI is. I mean, it's here, but I like Gen AI. I think Gen AI is the most. So, did you were you following it with GANs and all that? Like,
GANs, I'm not too familiar with
generative adversarial networks. So it was like pre. Okay, so that was like what you're excited about in Gen AI. This happened once before. It was with GANs.
Oh, interesting.
And GANs were cool because it would like. It showed us how exciting AI could be and how much we did not know about these black box models, but it wasn't as put together, and you didn't have the human reinforcement learning that was introduced with like GPT 3.5, where like you were like, oh, you can get training data really, really fast, and you don't have to like have this synthetic crap.
That's where Scale AI comes in, right? Like
Yes.
It provides so much data
Yes.
for training on models.
Correct. But Scale AI, like, you know, they've pivoted already so many times. I think the current model is good, but like the data conundrum is one that's unique in a sense that like if data becomes the unique identifier between you having a good company and you having like just a wrapper, I mean, wouldn't you say that the game is already kind of set in stone then?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it would mean that like pretty much you could get to maybe $10 million in ARR or something, or a few million, but like if you're not already someone big or of much importance, then like what's the point of building an AI company?
Yeah.
If it's really truly a data conundrum. But we'll see. What area are you in?
Yeah, I'm actually a systems engineer, so I work with GPUs and servers all day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my knowledge in AI is pretty much just limited to what I read online and like research on my own time.
So, what company?
I work at Salesforce.
Oh, you're at Salesforce. Yeah. Oh, dude, you guys are Agent Force, man. Get out of here.
Agent Force,
You're talking about you don't know anything about AI. You better learn. Like, Mark is all over that, man.
Yeah, no, he's super huge on AI. That's why I'm so familiar with Copilot and so familiar.
Mark is like,
Cursor.
He's half the reason why half the industry is where it's at right now. He was like one of the first CEOs to be all AI first.
Yeah, he's a huge pioneer for AI. Like Salesforce is all about, you know, CRM AI nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, it's all people talk about.
Well, I mean, I think that Agent Force is smart. I think we're maybe like 6 years a little too early. And I think that in that time, like you guys are a major incumbent, but like the question becomes, does tools like Cursor, and I'm just gonna say Cursor and everything else because I don't think Cursor's just reinventing the IDE, right?
Right.
But the IDE is the interface of like 10 years ago, like, you know, Visual Studio and all that good stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the interface of tomorrow? And I think that like the visionary CEOs that we don't know today are solving that question and they're gonna make something, and that will be dynamic, and we'll see that disruption that inevitably comes with that. But when you come out of that and you look at the incumbents of today, the question is, how does Salesforce remain competitive when you can like build a mini CRM with like a SharePoint and Slack if you have Cursor in like 10 hours of time?
Right.
Like, obviously you have the brand, obviously you have all the engineers like yourself,
and
but
the ecosystem.
In the ecosystem. Yeah. But like we've also seen that time and time again kind of fail. Like, you know, you look at IBM, you look at Nokia, you look at BlackBerry, right? Like you've had incumbents that had really prolific brands. Heck, Apple's in the same boat right now, where it's like, how do you leverage your distribution in a way where it doesn't kill you? And I think Mark is he's writing the playbook on that. I think I'm bullish on Salesforce.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm actually not a developer on the product itself. I manage the Kubernetes servers that host that services like Agentforce. They all run on, you know, our Kubernetes clusters. So I don't directly interact with these products, but you know, I make sure they're available and resilient 24/7.
I love that. I mean, so you're a MongoDB guy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a monitoring guy. I'm a database guy. I'm a systems guy. But I'm not your, I guess, typical developer. Yeah. But we do use Cursor and Copilot still day to day.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's really cool. How do you like working at Salesforce?
It's good. Yeah, the culture is super good. And thankfully, like, we're not forced to return to office yet. I know our sales guys and the business admins, like, they're forced to go back in. Yeah. But thankfully, the engineers, developers, we're all kind of like still, you know, work from home, which is pretty nice.
But they're not hiring any more engineers, right? And developers.
I think we are, but the hiring has definitely slowed down in the past couple of years, especially with, you know, Gen AI coming out.
Yeah.
We don't need as many junior engineers. But when it comes to like senior engineers, principal engineers, I think we're still hiring. Yeah.
Do you think all like software engineers are cooked, like the incoming ones?
Dude, yeah, it's kind of seems that way lately, huh? I think the junior developers, especially with all the tools, the senior developers can like double their productivity.
Yes.
So in a lot of ways, like the junior engineer roles are getting eliminated.
But think about that mentor-mentee relationship that we had when we were coming into the game. Like, where does that go? Because I don't want AI training folks. Like, you don't get real world experience. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, there's definitely like there's definitely a trade-off in that aspect. Like, it's really good to have that human interaction, like mentor-mentee.
Yes.
But on the other hand, like as someone who has mentored multiple junior engineers throughout my career, it does take a lot of time to onboard these guys, right? You gotta write documentation.
Yes.
You gotta teach them the technologies, infrastructure. So there's definitely a trade-off in like productivity versus like building that human relationship.
But you earn your stripes as a developer going through GitHub repos and like figuring out what you're doing wrong on Stack Overflow. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. 100%.
I mean, but that's also where you have these aha moments. And a lot of the senior developers today, especially in what you're doing, right, is you're working on open source code. So how do you become a senior developer, a really respected person in your field? You've got to contribute to open source.
For sure, yeah.
You're only going to do that by putting the time in.
Yeah. You have to really understand the fundamentals of open source code.
Yes. If I have AI teach you everything, there's no need for you to understand the fundamentals because the AI should be so eventually the AI will be so explicitly good with like just the fundamentals and the basics that it just kind of needs you for like this car, for example. Great example. Full self-driving understands all the parameters of the road, even probably more than your average driver, like what to do at a roundabout in this regard.
It notices everything.
Yes. So now I'm not learning those things, which I had to do in order to get a driver's license, but I'm just supervising. Well, the supervisor doesn't have the same requirements as the driver.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, like you don't become aware of all the small details. You just let the AI do it for you.
Yeah. But like what makes you a good supervisor doesn't make you a good, innovator.
Yeah.
Or optimizer.
I think another good analogy for that is like going to university to study comp sci versus going to boot camp for 3 months and just learning how to code. Right?
I hate boot camps, man. I'm not a boot camp friendly guy. Like I think boot camps are kind of stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Because boot camps, they teach you how to code and they teach you application, but you don't really understand how the source code works.
Yeah, you have no clue on the logic. And then also like the boot camps, you're useless. Like, cause you go through it, you're sold a dream. Someone's literally holding your hand all the way through it. But then once you've actually gotten the real world, you have no real world experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're actually no different than a script kiddie. If you don't have a lot of intuition and a lot of ambition and a lot of like drive, which I mean, you went to a boot camp, so you're looking for literally the diamond in the rough on that one.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't really understand like computer theory in depth, like big O notation. Like you don't know how to write efficient code. You kind of just as a script kiddie, you kind of just learn how to write it, even if it's super inefficient. You just try to get it done. Whereas comp sci graduates, like they know how to write efficient code. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Allegedly.
Supposedly.
I mean, I feel like you've seen some software developers that get to you and you're like, wait, did you not understand how a loop works? You're like, you just copied someone's code, didn't you?